What is happening, guys? It's your boy TC back with another video. So how shambolic was that? Obviously that's not the result that we wanted, not the result we all expected, of course, but what an absolutely terrible result. We have one lifeline left to obviously get into the Champions League, and that's through the Europa League, as we all know. We've got one game to go, we've got 1 foot into the final, but of course, obviously yesterday I expected that would have turned over Brighton. It was an absolutely abysmal game. There was no leadership, no creation whatsoever going forward. Of course, we had Mesut Ozil starting the game, but it was really bad in terms of the result. Of course, we had a lifeline in the fact that Spurs had slipped up over the weekend, as well as Man United. And I went into this game expecting us to take this top 4 challenge through the Premier League, of course, or the Champions League challenge, if you want to call it that, to the final day of the season. But that obviously wasn't the case. Brighton had obviously had the plans, and obviously when Brighton was playing, it did seem like they were Barcelona, not Brighton. But let's just talk about the starting 11. Of course, in goal with Bernd Leno. Right back, due to a suspension, 2 Maitland-Niles with Lichtsteiner starting. In the middle of defence, we had Mustafi, as well as Socrates. At left back, we had Monreal. Of course, Kolasinac was rested with a thought of the game coming up on Thursday, but he ended up featuring later on into the game, but he wasn't really effective when he did come on, but we'll speak about that shortly. In the middle of the park, we had Torreira, as well as Xhaka, who we will discuss as well. Up top, we had Mkhitaryan, Ozil, as well as the duo that is Lacazette and Aubameyang. So of course we started off brightly, high intensity, high pressure on Brighton. It took Brighton a while to settle into the game. We obviously took the lead, as you may all know, through an Aubameyang penalty. Only 9 minutes into the game, and of course at that particular point I was sitting there thinking, well, this is our chance to actually go in and actually challenge for that top 4 spot up until the final day of the season. Of course, that wasn't the case whatsoever. 9 minutes in, we were 1-0 up. It seemed as if we had full control of the game, of course. Brighton certainly hadn't read the script. They had different ideas for the day, of course. And it turned out to be a game that really they were matching us toe-to-toe. Of course, the stats speak differently. We were battering down their goal. We had 20 shots on their goal. Of course, 8 of those were on target, 16 corners overall. Nothing came out of those corners. You'd have thought we would have actually converted one of those, but obviously that wasn't the case. And I was expecting the team to actually continue from where they left off on Thursday. Obviously, Unai Emery's team selection had the game on Thursday in mind. Of course, that's more important now than it's ever been. We still obviously had a chance, as mentioned, to go through the Premier League, but he rested a few key players within the team. Of course, Maitland-Niles had suffered a suspension. We saw Lichtsteiner come in at right back, and I do believe he was absolutely woeful. He was giving us nothing whatsoever going forward. The usual comical defending at the back was ever present as well. Mustafi could have given a goal away. However, we went into the second half with a 1-goal lead, and I definitely thought at the time that we needed to score another goal. And it seemed as if Brighton were playing with less pressure, as they had obviously learned that they'd secured their Premier League survival the day before, and they were free to play. And obviously they showed that on the pitch when they actually came to the Emirates yesterday. And obviously they ended up getting a penalty awarded in the 61st minute. Glenn Murray converted that particular penalty. So the penalty, again, extremely clumsy play from Granit Xhaka. You don't do that really if you're in the box. You try to avoid it. Any form of contact. Players nowadays will just go down and tumble. There's a question mark with the Monreal penalty as well, but of course as an Arsenal fan I'll take that. I will be biased, I'm not going to lie. I would have taken absolutely anything today, really, well yesterday I should say, to get those 3 crucial points. But with the Xhaka incident, that wasn't the case. Extremely clumsy. Not aware of really what he was doing. The right back was missing. He should have been actually taking on that particular player, and he ended up tumbling in the box. And they obviously got awarded the penalty. There was no hope of Bernd Leno saving that particular penalty. Speaking of Bernd Leno, he did make some good saves throughout the game. One in particular when Brighton had actually equalised. It was a fantastic save to keep the ball out, to obviously keep that point that we were clinging on to, which is something that feels extremely weird for me to say against Brighton. But of course, we did draw with them earlier on in the season. Again, that was a 1-1 score. So it seems as if these teams have sussed us out. We haven't won in the last 4 in the Premier League, and that speaks for itself. That speaks volumes, really. Aubameyang missed an absolute sitter. 8 yards out, you would have thought, right, he's going to tuck this in. Brilliant work from Mkhitaryan on the left-hand side. Managed to float the ball in, fire a deflection, and you thought Aubameyang was going to score that goal. He tried this weird volley kind of finish, and the ball went wide, and I was absolutely gobsmacked at that particular point. But before you knew it, it was 90 minutes, and we were certainly out of that Champions League race. So it's absolutely devastating. But as mentioned, there is still hope. We can go through the back door, through the Europa League. Who do we blame over this season? Of course, we sit here and we talk about players, etc. But, of course, football is a team game. And, of course, you want to put responsibility on the manager. Unai Emery is so unpredictable in terms of his team selection, his tactics. It chops and it changes week in, week out. Of course, he's trying to instill his own DNA into the team, of which I understand and I completely get. But you need some form of consistency. If you don't have that form of consistency, the players are not going to play consistently. And it has been evidenced so far this season. But this is his first season. We will rebuild. We will move on. And hopefully we can march on from this particular season, which has been absolutely abysmal in my opinion. But as usual, please do let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, please do make sure that you do hit that subscribe button. So once again, guys, it's your boy TC from I'm Gonna Talk TV, and I'm out.